It's going to be coming through Sejuani, more than likely going to be the response from Sheo, because I think one of the big question marks I had was, well, Maokai, Sejuani were taken off, Vi I think was banned away, and suddenly we're going to Gragas for Sheo, so I think it definitely is a case of, well, what champion pool does Sheo have that he feels comfortable in? So we'll have to see what the plan is. Xayah, no-brainer coming into this. Without the Rakan though, I think you do just try and take a jungler here for Sheo, and maybe this is the answer. Go towards the Lee Sin and say, hey look, I have at least something I can do, but Lee Sin into the Maokai can be a bit of a difficult time.
I was just about thinking about, look, if you're a jungler at this level of play, you have to play Lee Sin. It's just kind of part and parcel, but no, immediately goes tree for tree. We're looking at a forest in the jungle, and that's going to be the Ivern locked in.
And I am curious to see then if Nuke wants to go towards one of these AD mid laners, because traditionally you see with Tristana, but Tristana quite heavily nerfed coming in towards this patch, and Nuke wasn't somebody who picked up the Jayce, so might see a bit of a different story coming through from them. On the upside though, DFM will respond with the Kaisa, which we kind of expect, and maybe the Rel to just come through here, try and keep that good engage set up there.
DFM thinking about going for the Kaisa for Yutapon. Of course, it just seems to be the handshake of the World Championship so far. The Xayah, the Kaisa kind of taken away. The Rakan does seem to be the bigger player in those particular bot lanes of power, but DFM now really want to try and take this one. I wouldn't mind seeing them lock in, I was going to say the Alistar or something to just kind of disengage kind of fully onto what would look like to be kind of a hyper carry Xayah.
I will say though, this opens up a really nice opportunity for a Braum if you want to for Labrov in that bot side, and it makes it very difficult to try and play into that matchup. You even are able to block a lot of the ultimate that's coming through from the Maokai, so that could be an opportunity for him to go towards that if you would like to, but we'll have to see exactly what the game plan is going to be. But yeah, I mean, I was going to say it removes things like the Rel, but there's the Braum immediately locked in. I think this is just a great answer to what DFM are going for.
You got comms to the coaches now, do you? Just letting them know what's going on.
I've watched a lot of this team.
Yeah, you know what? That is very fair. You know exactly. You know the ins and outs of BDS, the highs and the lows, as we now see them kind of look towards where their next few bans will go. Honestly, with the first rotation coming out, I wouldn't be surprised to see mid lane bans coming out for BDS. Lock that one in and give your top laner that kind of priority on the 5th pick. Yeah,
I like though that we're kind of looking here as, again, mid lane bans coming through. These big AoE combos going to be taken off the board. Orianna gone, Nico gone. I think Aria might just be a good call straight up, because Aria has a fantastic performance whenever he gets his hands on that pick, so maybe take them off the board. And then for Nuke, you go towards the Syndra. It's something that he has had mixed results on, I will say, but certainly I think with the current meta and also the amount of champions that are banned, it kind of makes the most sense to go towards. Or you could even just fall back towards, well, I was going to say the Azir for themselves, because one of the things we did see is that because you get just more auto attack damage off from an Ivern with the magic damage he gives, the Azir kind of fits the same bill as things like the Jayce and the Tristana that we're seeing as well.
Honestly, I feel like DFM could just ban away the Syndra themselves, and that's something that we talked about a little bit in our kind of, prep coming up to this one. No, they're going for the Tristana themselves. Nuke kind of needs to step up. Nuke needs to kind of show that he's not just an Orianna one-trick almost, because it really does feel like he's kind of having an issue. But there's the Jayce. Technically a flex. Could go to Adam, could go to Nuke, and honestly with BDS, that is a genuine thing that I could see happening.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised to see it though. Like, I just want to double check, but I'm pretty sure he didn't play it at all in our season finals, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was just the Tristana he played, and I don't think he played in summer either. So this is kind of the first time that we're really getting to see the Nuke Jayce. Actually, sorry, I take it back. He played it 4 times in summer, had a 50% win rate on it. So at least not something that we saw too much coming in towards the end of our year, but this is definitely something, again, that plays into the hands of auto attack based champions that can proc the Ivern. You've got good setup now for the Braum as well, to have these multiple auto attackers that are there, and now it's just a question of what does Adam want to try and take into that top side to round this out.
Well, the Aatrox looks like it could be something for apaMEN. We'll see if
I suppose.
Yeah, locked in, so gonna go for the Aatrox, give himself a semi-decent laning phase. And I mean, look, BDS give themselves the counter pick. They know they can kind of pick anything into this. I don't expect to see the Garen, but look, it's Adam. It could be anything.
Yeah, I think look, you're not going to be surprised to see apaMEN going back towards the Aatrox, so I would imagine a Renekton pick, and then Adam goes, hey look, I'm just going to fight you toe to toe, and you can play hyper aggressive in that matchup. If you get an early lead, you start to snowball that out of control, and again it kind of sets up for, hey, we have a crazy strong 3v3 top side. We're able to try and play through the setup that the Renekton brings. Jayce can then follow up very effectively, and the Ivern with the shields and the CC is a beautiful portion to just add to that. But you do have to be careful. Like, DFM very strong when it comes to front-to-back team fights with the setup that they have. And I think that's where, when you're looking at Labrov, he's going to have his work cut out from him in this one to make sure he's blocking Maokai ultimates, getting the door in the way to make sure that if Alistar goes for a combo, he's blocking things like the Syndra ult or the follow-up CC from Syndra.
That's the big thing. My eyes are squarely on Labrov in this particular game because, yes, there is going to be fantastic plays made across the map, but if BDS want to be able to mitigate everything that DFM throw at them, it's going to come off of Labrov and his kind of almost target selection of who he wants to try and protect. And I mean, they're very short range as well on the side of BDS. They are going to need him to be on point to try and stop a lot of this kind of, as you say, re-engage or disengaging kind of Scatter the Weaks or even Maokai ultimates. But teams are locked and loaded, BDS and DFM in the losers bracket. Remember, we have to remind you, it is a elimination match. You have to win this best of 3 to continue your Worlds 2023 run. And for BDS, they did not expect to be here this early.
Definitely not. Again, like, this was kind of supposed to be the LEC going, right, well, we got through with the LCS. Let's try and make sure that we're able to then kind of carry on and move in towards a higher spot. And I mean, the performance that we saw from BDS against Golden Guardians in the World Qualifying Series was not indicative at all about what we were seeing coming into Worlds. They looked shaky, they looked unconfident, they looked like they didn't really know how they wanted to approach the game. So for this one, I want to see BDS stepping forward, Sheo looking more confident, Nuke having a better performance, and overall just being confident in the plays that they're making.
For DFM, the most dominant domestic team the LGL is probably ever going to see. And they need to try and step up. Because remember, they made it to the main stage last time. They were able to do what everyone thought was impossible. They don't want to go out the first, the first hurdles. They want to try and push for equaling their record of play here at the World's Championship. So right now, it is Crownie just kind of pushing in a bit more aggressively here with Labrov. But I mean, look, DFM very aware of what could be an early level 1. As you can see, Adam was around here. They are just going to push themselves right back into the safety of their own jungle.
Yeah, just trying to see if they can get some vision down. They will then back away. Vision responded to by the tree on the opposite side, as Steel will get vision on towards the enemy camps. But I mean, chances are we're going to see Ivern starting on towards the spot side, top side, clear his camps, and then kind of do his regular full clear business. Sorry, it is bot side. Yeah, my brain today, man, is not with it.
You've done a lot of casting the last
and it's
few
early
days.
shifts as well.
Yeah. Like we're in Dublin. Like you're up at like 5:30 to get on a bus for 6:30.
3:30 on Monday or whatever.
Whatever.
Monday morning.
Oh yeah, because you did the World Qualifiers.
Yeah. So it's been a few early starts, but yeah, Sheo, going to start bot side. He'll do it where he wanders up towards top. He'll smite red, come back down, and if he's good on Ivern, he'll do the trick that Kadra loves, which is he'll like hit blast cone to hop over to Wolves and then Q the blue buff as he goes across to get the double proc very, very quickly. But we have to see exactly how he's going to play this one out.
For DFM, it's been a roller coaster of a year really for this team. Yutapon going from bot lane to top lane. Then they brought obviously apaMEN back in from retirement. The man hadn't played for 2 years. Played Wild Rift, but wasn't playing League of Legends specifically. And then we can see Yutapon back into the bot side. Nice little bit of damage there onto Labrov, but no Ignite committed, and you can see now that Yutapon just feeling a little bit more comfortable for the moment.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised to see BDS give up this much control on the early stages. The thing is, though, yeah, there we go. Sheo getting nicely done on the clear, but I think the only having access to the Q on Crownie means that you're not able to get as much push. And although a lot of people say that Alistar isn't really a champion level 1, when you're up against a melee matchup, it does become significantly easier to push up, get it pulverized as Labrov tries to clear the wave. So now that you're starting to hit level 3, this lane will become a little bit easier for Crownie and Labrov, where you get access to the shield to stand beside me. Trying to find these trades at Harp and Yutapon is going to make things a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, Ivern on a pretty decent clear. Should be able to get the full clear gun there, just above 3 minutes 5 seconds. I know there's a couple of people on Twitter who enjoy that, Molecule being one of them, who enjoy the really fast clear speeds. But I mean, it's just kind of the way it works. You're looking to see what they're able to do in those early stages, because again, a really fed Ivern is nice, but it's not exactly going to game change anything.
Now, a huge amount of this is again going to be trying to set up both Nuke and I imagine Adam in these early stages as well, get him control in this matchup, because it's incredibly snowbally. It's going to be a case of, well, if I get to Gore Drinker first, I just get to have a ton of control. And we've even saw where Aatrox starts to slip behind, they try and go for early Ninja Tabi.
Oh, they're looking for an engage here. Flash in, pulverized down, but the flash away is a little bit too late. The twisted advance is good. Crownie finds himself on the backside of a first blood. Sheo's got nothing to offer here because they've got no damage once the carry's dead.
Yeah, I mean, really nicely done there. Harp gets the headbutt in to close the distance and flashing forward right as Steel is coming into lane. So even with the ward down, they're able to bypass it and DFM draw first blood.
Indeed. Tree versus tree, the vegetarians are turning on each other. And what happened in mid lane? Aria taking a much more favorable trade now. Adam looking to try and get a solo kill here. The Infernal Change does knock him back a bit, but Wave should push back into apaMEN, who should be able to reset and get himself back into lane.
Sheo's here mid though. Aria spots him out. Just trying to make sure they can collapse this mid wave, so they're not able to get a freeze there for Aria. But as you say again, this has been a nice little start coming through for DFM, controlling mid, controlling bot. Adam is working very well on this top side though. And again, this is kind of what we got to see in the last series for BDS, where, I mean, Adam was honestly the only member that I really felt like was performing up to scratch coming through from the LEC. And again, he's doing well in the lane against apaMEN as to be expected, but the rest of the team just aren't really there. You didn't even see Crownie shaking his head when he went down there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing as well, is that you kind of come out of this and saying, look, it's a 5-man game. You know, it's a 5-man team. Yes, we have got 1v5 situations, but it's just so difficult. And now Sheo doing what Ivern does best and just being absolutely annoying, taking away all these camps as best he possibly can. We'll see Steel looking to see if he can maybe get this one himself, smites it away, so shouldn't be falling too far behind in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I mean, BDS, they got to be very careful this bot side now. You were without a flash or a ghost for Crownie, which means that we could see a repeat gank here for Steel.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Steel try to keep this pressure up. Will respond to the camps that was stolen on his top side, so not going to be the end of the road by Harp. Now, this is actually great position for
X-Flash. Going to come over the wall, immediately look to try and get on top of Labrov this time because they know they've got the CC and the damage. No Ignite just yet, but I mean, for the moment, the DFM bot lane's feeling an awful lot more confident in this matchup.
Yeah, they didn't want to try and overextend there. That's a massive minion wave that you'd have to try and fight into, so Crownie more than likely would have been able to try and turn something back around, but still just getting that damage down means that Labrov has to get off the map and opens up a chance where Yutapon can clear this wave and maybe even look at Harp. Like, he can start to try and link up with his jungler a little bit, but this is the play that we got initially. Like, so Harp uses Labrov to close the distance onto Crownie and set up then Steel to actually get into a position to come through with a flash over himself, and Sheo just unfortunately a little bit far behind because he'd gone for that reset and couldn't quite get into bot lane when he needed to.
A little bit of pressure. CS lead isn't really that apparent though. It is kind of coming between the bot and top lane, excuse me, the mid and top lane. As you can see there, the Syndra having a much better time just kind of getting those those minions down with those orbs, but right now definitely see a bit of a contester in this dragon. Yeah,
I think the fact now that you've got control over bot side a little bit when it comes to the reset timers, like the assists going across means that there's not a massive lead there. As Unu, hang on, just going to be able to back away, but I think it's going to give the push here where you can actually start to try and set up some deep vision. You can see Harp going in there at the moment to try and get some vision down, see if he can set them up. Steel as well has to just start to move in here, make sure that he's going to be able to support Harp in getting that vision. But a lot of this is a vision game to start looking for dragons and start looking for those early leads.
So what they have to do, Steel is moving up now, he's going to be spotted on vision. We'll see that there's a jungler and a fair amount of people on top of him. No flash here on Steel just yet, he is being slowed down. Concussive blows not quite being proc just yet. Finally, he will go down. They will try and donate that one over to either the mid or the AD carry. Does go over to Nuke. Good collapse there from BDS, and while that's happening, top lane is just winning.
Yeah, I mean, Adam is absolutely destroying apaMEN, and it's kind of hard to not have it happen at this stage. Look, apaMEN, he's coming back in after a 2-year hiatus and going up against, honestly, probably the best top laner in play-ins. Like, it is miserable to play up against Adam on these sorts of champions, and Adam more than happy to take the advantage. But the problem is for DFM, the advantage that they gain on the bot side are starting to slip away. We're not getting support and jungle linking up together to get that vision. So because of that, well, Harp kind of wandered in, got spotted. Steel ended up wandering in late, gets caught, and that opens up BDS to start what BDS do best, the dragon stop.
Yeah, they love their dragons. They really, really do. And Steel, very happy to let this one go for the moment. We do have Rift Herald spawned onto the Rift as well, so moving up towards this top side. Harp, not quite towards level 6 just yet. Actually, Labrov has been roaming quite a bit, so he's a fair bit behind in the L levels. You see now apaMEN trying to take a bit of a trade here against Adam, and yeah, you're going to have to go the long way. That caster minion is dead, apaMEN, and I'm very sorry about that.
I'm looking at Sheo though, in again behind enemy lines here. You got Labrov in the mid as well. Is it going to be some sort of flash over the wall to try and make a play? We'll have Daisy available too.
Oh, Harp Looking for level 6. You can see he really wants it. Labrov taking a huge chunk of damage. Does end up getting the Unbreakable up right there, but just taking Daisy and smashing her underneath the turret. And that is honestly the power of the Syndra. The Ivern does lose that kind of second man that he's able to kind of throw out and check things.
Still though, I mean, yes, like you're losing an ultimate, which is pretty big, but I think that's where we're going to see if Sheo can still have value with like the shields and this kind of stuff as they get in towards later, and like kind of allowing Nuke and others to be that big factor. Because Ivern does rely pretty heavily on Daisy. I think a lot of people kind of disrespect how much damage Daisy can do, even the CC she offers. But we'll have to see Sheo, without Daisy, what he can try and achieve here. It looks like very little, as DFM will be able to take the Rift out for themselves.
Yeah, Harp's level 6, Steel's level 6. Having those two ultimates available is just too scary to walk up and deal with. So the mid lane priority does lead DFM towards a Rift Herald, and that is a nice little kind of pickup for them. Gold dead even. Neutrals pretty much 1-for-1, Dragon for BDS and Rift Herald for DFM, as now they're kind of getting a huge advantage. I mean, look at the difference between Adam and apaMEN right now. It is Doran's Blades and then a Gore Drinker. That is literally the difference right now. As we can see, Steel, straight up, he just gets caught out and gets collapsed upon.
But yeah, this is where they needed Steel and Harp to be syncing up together. You had Harp, who'd already knew that he'd kind of had attempted to force Labrov out of lane. Labrov ended up putting a bunch of pots into himself, but you needed those two to link up there to keep each other safe. But without that, well, BDS no control over mid. BDS having control over mid meant they could try and collapse. Now DFM are trying to respond to a potential invade here from Nuke. You can see Nuke is there, but not really having much in the way of follow-up potential there from Aria. Means he will just be able to escape.
And we are seeing the kind of trade-off in vision as Adam continues to put down Demolish procs here onto the tower. Wants another plate if he can. Gonna have to respect a little bit of the damage coming out from apaMEN if he keeps taking those Qs to the face.
Yeah, the thing is though, you have Gore Drinker and the Empowered Q. You can see how much health he ends up getting back, so he's perfectly happy to just keep going for these Demolish procs. There's going to be a potential 4th tower plate going down in the next wave as well, so apaMEN definitely starting to struggle. And that's now going to start being an issue as Adam gets stronger, starting to look towards like potential second Rift Herald fights. But DFM have the Rift Herald for themselves at the moment and trying to use it on this bottom side to see if they can get their AD carry ahead.
Yeah, got 3 minutes till plates go away, but I think Yutapon going for the call, going to kind of stack up that gold as quick as he can. He wants to be accelerated ahead of this Xayah should they need it at the next fight, and that's just kind of happened right there. So we'll say though, Crownie hasn't been falling too far behind, of course, with the magical footwear. Doesn't need to spend money on boots himself, so has got himself the Kraken Slayers. The Storm Razor does come in here from Yutapon, so going not quite the lethality build that we saw earlier in the play-ins.
No, going to be taking a bit more of a... I was going to say a crack, but I didn't mean to make a Kraken Slayer pun. But yeah, I think
own your puns. Don't be a coward.
Look, if I do, I will do worse ones than that straight up and own it. But Aria already finding Nuke here. Sheo just going to keep him safe for the shields. But again, when it comes to the 2v2 here, with the tank menace that Steel is, you just got to be so careful in trying to set these up. Radiant Virtue already completed for him.
BDS will be looking to try and gain control around this river. Minute 20 until that dragon spawns. You can see those shields kind of coming out fast and frequent here for Nuke. The poke is pretty decent from Aria, who hasn't been able to go back and finish off his item just yet.
Yeah, I think BDS want to try and start up a fight though. Gore Drinker just completed for Adam. He'll be able to catch this wave and immediately go into it. So I imagine Nuke going to reset, finish off his first mythic, I'd imagine at this stage, no, just shy of it, and then TP back into lane so then he can actually clear out this wave and then they can look for it. So now Adam having control over top means that he won't lose plates on that top end. And I think apaMEN might actually have to TP back into this or lose a potential turret. So it's a bit of a lose-lose for DFM, which is why we're seeing respond with, hey, we need to get this Rift Herald down. And again, I think Nuke probably should have TP'd in here, so then he's in a better position for this.
Yeah, just keeps it for the moment. The Daisy goes down as we got the pets to play with each other, and that tower is going to go down regardless, and that's before the dragon spawns. That's huge for the side of BDS. And I mean, we'll get it in a minute or so, but I can't wait to see how far ahead Adam is right now. But I mean, if the last series against Team Wales is anything to go by, Adam being ahead doesn't necessarily mean a lot, to be perfectly honest, because he was doing so well. He was kind of the shining light for the side of BDS, but it couldn't turn it into anything tangible.
But this is where I want to see Adam going back to what he did best in LEC, which was, hey, I'm going to push top and start to lean in towards mid. It's also what we got to see a lot against Golden Guardians. I think when you're in this sort of position, you can do so. He's not even going to go back top here. I think he's just going to immediately walk down towards this dragon, have the TP to get back up towards top side. And with the fact he has a Caulfield's Warhammer basically matching matching the soul phage of apaMEN. apaMEN has to either reset, try and match a buy, or try and push in this top side so DFM will forego Dragon completely. So BDS kind of have DFM in this lose-lose scenario right now.
Yeah, we really do. I mean, it's like, I think it's like almost coming up to about 1,400 gold or something like that was the advantage off of just the tower plates and tower alone. So now BDS, very much all 5 members utilizing this. DFM happy to let this one go for the moment, see what the next dragon is going to be. It's going to be a mountain, but a TP coming in here from Adam. He's even got a little bit of a shield there from the Ivern. And that's going to be apaMEN, maybe a little bit too far forward. They're both going to ult. Dominus comes in as well as the Infernal Chains to try and knock back Adam. Doesn't quite get it, but I think apaMEN should be able to flash over the wall unless Adam really wants to go for it. There's going to be the Blast Cone. Adam needed to be on the right side of that one. A dash over the wall means that apaMEN gets out with his life.
Still though, Adam taking full control will get some chip damage onto this top tower as well. He still has that demolish, and there's your lane economy snapshot. Oisin brought to you by Mastercard. Nearly 2,000 gold in favor of Adam. This is... Sorry, so
Aria has 6, and that's all that matters.
So I watch a lot of the yard, and Slime has this thing where he keeps going, "All right, man," and it's like all I can hear is apaMEN every time I say this. "All right, man," and he's not all right, man.
No, he's not. He's not all right, man.
It is a disaster for apaMEN in this top side, and I don't think it's going to get any better with the way BDS are playing right now. Adam is destroying him, and again, Rift out in 30 seconds time. He's going to be able to push out top side, rotate back in towards that. Nuke also started to get decent control over this mid when it comes to push as well. He still has that TP that we talked about earlier, so imagine fall back, TP to mid, 15 seconds, sorry, until Rift Herald's up. Well, let's just shove ourselves over that direction and get control immediately.
And here's the big thing as well, is that you're still dealing with a, you know, kind of itemless or completed itemless apaMEN right now. Really would love to have himself that first item before they go for this fight around the Rift Herald. And this is where BDS can start to take control of the game. 1,500 gold up is decent. 2 dragons is very good. But to get that and then to start taking over things like the second Herald to then break open mid lane or something like that, that's when this game starts to get a little bit dicier for DFM. BDS, they're happy to take it slow and steady. They're in a very strong point of power for the moment.
Yeah, I still think, though, they're kind of missing windows of opportunity, right? Like, again, I think Nuke holding onto this TP doesn't really give you a huge amount of value when you could have actually just started up the Rift Herald. Wow. Now Adam's overextended. He's
a little overextended. Look at the rest of the map as well. DFM trying to collapse on top of him. No flash. Remember, he used it last time and didn't get anything. The TP comes out straight away. You're going to see the little bit of a minion taxi coming out. As apaMEN pops his own ult as well, but TP was burned, and that's going to be BDS saying, look, we're going to defend our top and take the Rift.
But they can still be contested here by DFM. Adam now has no ultimate, which is a bit of a downer if you're going to be a Renekton. And as well, you can see control over mid. Aria just immediately getting that damage onto Crownie to try and keep him at bay. So DFM, they can contest this.
They are going to look to do it because Crownie's not putting in the DPS just yet. They will have vision of this. Harp going to look to try and maybe engage on top of this one here. They're going to get a nice little bit of vision. 3-man knock-up as well is huge, but Labrov puts himself between everybody and the creeping CC. They're going to be able to take down Harp. Crownie has to go straight away into the feathers flying, and they're going to take down the Yutapon Kaisa as well. Good kite back there from BDS. They get the Rift Herald, they get the fight, and they get control.
That was so close to being perfect for DFM, but Yutapon and Aria were nowhere to be seen. Labrov with a great shield as well to stop the follow-up on the Maokai. You get it here, Harp. I love these kind of taxi services he's doing. Headbutt Adam to then flash forward to get the lockup, but Labrov manages to block the majority of the Maokai ultimate from coming through onto Nuke. Yutapon is just in a bounce house scenario. He's forced to try and reposition, but goes down anyway. And it's Steel who's trying to take on Crownie. So you can see DFM, they didn't really take position in River. They're playing through this small choke, which is perfect for people like Crownie and Nuke.
Now you can see the gold difference over time, powered by AWS, just kind of drastically dropping there in favor of the red team, which of course is BDS, and they are going to have themselves a much stronger time of it. I mean, now they can look to go topside. Infernal Chains downs by apaMEN.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have flash right now. Will have his ultimate to try and fear away Daisy.
Okay.
A nice little fancy feat keeps him alive, and honestly, that's all he can do.
I will say, yeah, for a lot of top laners, what will end up happening when they get into the position is like, all right, I'm going down 0-2, 0-3. Adam is starting to take over, but I mean, the smallest of silver linings, at least, is that apaMEN has been keeping himself safe, making sure that, look, Terra's gone down, has only just completed the Gore Drinker, which tells you about how far behind he is.
Yeah.
And it is still going to be an issue, but at least he's not giving over, like, more kills and more time for Adam to actually create pressure on this side.
That's it. He's not helping BDS dig the hole. Yeah. He's just kind of saying, oh, man, come on, don't be doing that to me. But, I mean, with the Gore Drinker, he does a fair bit of damage now, so this Aatrox is starting to get back into a point of parity. I mean, it will change once Adam goes for a reset.
Yeah, it's just a case of Adam used his full combo in the wave there, so it's still going to be a case of apaMEN very far behind.
Yeah, but of course we can look at our featured matchup presented by Mercedes-Benz, Yutapon versus Crownie. So far, Crownie's had a pretty quiet time of it up until that first team fight around that Rift Herald, and has been doing decently to keep himself in tow. Yutapon definitely someone who can change the game, though. The Kaisa being able to shotgun herself right onto the backside, always something you have to be careful of.
Still, though, look where Harp is. Hex Flash into the lane could be huge here. Crownie needs to be fast on the trigger finger.
He's going to back away. Everyone stands behind Labrov. See if what they can do with this one here now. A Dragon Mountain Soul point to come in here for BDS. And I mean, honestly, with the Maokai ultimate down, I don't really see a way you can contest this as a side of DFM.
I mean, sorry, Labrov was great. Yeah. I think
has no one done that?
No, I don't think so.
What?
Yeah, but Dragon
Medic is not stepping up.
He's scribbling down.
Yeah, he's scribbling it down right now. Labrov, it's brilliant.
But Dragon, as you say, going across the BDS, they'll still get control over Terra here. Question mark over Aria. Does he want to try and go for a play over the wall? But he sees he's spotted. Great ward there for BDS to spotted any sort of play towards the mid lane, which means that Adam going to rotate back up top end to collect this wave as well.
And we've got a bit of time now because the Dragon's going to go down. It's not really going to lead to anything else. I imagine DFM are going to continue to kind of keep ping-ponging the waves, but this is a big series for BDS because I think the shock that was felt from them losing to Team Wales was just kind of resonated throughout. Like, the confidence that you lose from that series cannot be understated, and it really does feel like this is a series where they need to fight back to prove to everybody around them that it's like, look, we are still here. Yes, we did lose to Team Wales, but we were talking a little earlier. They're kind of an anomaly. We're not quite sure what Team Wales are, but BDS, they need to regroup. They need to get themselves back into the picture, and this series right now is going the way they want it to go.
It definitely does still feel like it's a slower pace for BDS. Like, this isn't kind of the confidence that I'd expect to see from them. It feels like it's maybe judging on like 60% of the confidence that you'd expect from them in a regular game, where it's like, okay, they are still playing for Dragons, they are still kind of playing towards what we expect from BDS, but I do think there are like windows of opportunity where it's like, oh, we could actually, you know, push the envelope a little bit. We can try and play a little bit more aggressive, like as we said earlier, like get Nuke into mid lane so we can test for Rift Herald. They don't end up doing that, and then they end up in a position where they're kind of fumbling over themselves to catch up on side lanes when Adam was being caught in. Now, I think again they're setting up well here. It's like Adam on bot side, he can push in. Nuke going to be able to create pressure on side lane, so they're able to get mid. And like this is kind of classic BDS, where it's like, cool, we will slowly but surely, you know, whittle you back, get you controlled in on your side of the map so we can play for Dragon. But I think the early to mid game, I'm still seeing windows where other teams could have potentially punished them.
DFM just kind of playing a bit passively right now. And again, I wouldn't say that the LGL has been known for their Titan killers over the years. They've definitely kind of improved over the years of the seasons as such, but this could be an opportunity for them to really put down their marker. Like we always remember, you know, the Albus Nox Lunas from the TCL, the CB Laws Kaboom eSports, maybe even Loud, we don't know yet as we come into this one. They need to try and find something. If you passively sit here, you can see it, the 1-3-1 is just so powerful. They're losing on all sides because they don't really have an idea of where to send people.
Yeah, and it's very hard to try and find the play that you need because, like, Sheo has so much control when it comes to, hey, I can throw it in a bush, spot out if you're in it, and have all the information that I need. I can keep Crownie at bay here as well because, well, Crownie as a Xayah, very safe. He's got a Braum in his back pocket as well, plus the shields that Sheo can offer. So to try and engage on this three-man unit mid is actually quite difficult. So as long as you can push mid like we're seeing with BDS, set up the vision on that top side once more, it just gives this slow control to BDS where they eat you, push you back further and further, and it becomes harder to keep control over the map.
It's a 5,000 gold lead. I will say a hell of a lot of that is centered into this Renekton right now. Not really doing a lot, but the thing is for apaMEN is that he needs to try and find himself on the backside. If they can get Crownie to use his ultimate before anything big really kind of comes out of it, like the Unleash Power, like the Maokai ultimate, that's when you're able to kind of capitalize on Crownie. That's when you're able to try and do something positive with your team. But for the moment, Everyone's happy to keep farming. Everyone's happy to wait for this dragon, which is spawning in 2 minutes. And honestly, I think BDS aren't even going to try and contest the Baron. Normally, some teams, I mean, at least in the LPL, they would be very much lucky to try and contest this Baron for the moment. But for now, BDS are sitting pretty. Soul point, your 5,000 gold up. Adam on a flank. Not going to pull the trigger just yet. He has got a Spear of Shojin for the moment. So, yes, he can do damage, but if he gets caught, he will go down.
Yeah, I still think, though, BDS, they're not exactly the type of team to, like, shotgun a Baron and just go, right, we're just going to take it, see what we can do. It's going to be more of a case of, like, as you're seeing, okay, top is now pushed in, bot is now, our mid is now pushed in, we got vision.
Liar.
They're not shotgunning it because basically if you actually look where their vision is, they know exactly what's up here, and this is going to be more of a case of, all right, we're going to force DFM to come into us, and then we'll try and turn off the back of this.
It's the same as the last Rift Herald fight. There is the Maokai ultimate. Does land on a couple of people. The TP comes in. The Glacial Fisher to try and disengage from it. Crownie putting in serious work, and Death Steel going down. Now Nuke comes in from the flank to jump onto Yutapon. apaMEN just kind of trying to stand forward, and it's doing work on the front lines, but not quite enough to be able to take anyone down. They lose their jungler, they lose their top laner, and BDS, they're happy to go back onto the Baron.
And again, BDS, they're just playing well around these little choke points. Yutapon and Aria are trying to funnel themselves into River, but if you're doing that with, you know, Luke setting off to one side where he's got the Jayce accelerated shock blast, or even he's able to come in over the side of the wall with the melee combo, that makes it very difficult. Crownie's getting a bunch of feathers that make it very difficult for you to operate coming into River, and this is what I was talking about, right? BDS will start this up, but they will turn and try and burn you down. So yes, you've got Yutapon has managed to make his way into River, but with Steel going down, you've got to try and back away to safety in towards this choke point. Aria now, with a ton of feathers in this area, isn't actually able to play forward. Yutapon has been forced out as well, and it just makes it very hard for you to actually play out these widespread out fights for DFM where you're not getting caught by Nuke and Crownie damage.
And they have to fight again. They have to look for this. I mean, like, a Mountain Soul is so massive with something like an Ivern trumped onto your team. It's just, but I mean, it doesn't look like they're going to go for anything. They're willingly letting this one go, and you can see the team fight damage powered by AWS. I mean, Crownie was untouched, just constantly putting in feathers, constantly putting down auto attacks. And I mean, he's huge right now, and even has the Mama Mortius third just to make sure that no one can really touch him.
And again, it was DFM getting off the bat first. They were the ones that got the kill, but as this game started to go on, they started to struggle. They couldn't really find the opportunities to link up. Steel gets caught. BDS find their opportunity to get the tempo back, get their first dragons, and then that's the game that BDS play. And now DFM feeling the worst for wear, but they need to find some moment to blow this game open. They need to find a pick, and they're looking at Adam.
They're looking at Adam. They're going to try and CC him down. The Infernal Chains will bring him back. Can they kill him off? All 5 members right on top of him. The Gore Drinker and the ult give him a fair bit of healing, but not enough to stop him. But your base, DFM, yes, you got rid of the Crocodile. Adam has died. He's not the one you need to be worried about. This is a huge wave. They still have 280 carries effectively. They could look to end the game.
You need to be careful though. Still 4 versus 5. No ultimates really available here for DFM, and BDS got it all.
apaMEN looking to try and caps on top of them here, looking to see if he can go for it, but he's a bit isolated. No one's really helping him out. apaMEN goes down because the rest of his team couldn't move forward. Yutapon has only half his HP. Flash forward from Labrov to get down a little bit of a marker. Nothing else more. Harp has to use his ultimate. Almost goes down as well. They are trying to just continue to escort. No one can move on to Crownie. Crownie can just keep auto-attacking. No, he can ignore the Maokai and look to end the game. BDS took it slow. They took it steady. They were the tortoise. But are they going to be maybe taking a little bit too much? TP coming back in from Adam. Now you can see Labrov with the Unbreakable, keeping him alive. Harp goes down. Crownie still fearless in the fight. Takes down his opposite marker as Yutapon goes. And the triple kill from Nuke means that BDS will go 1-0 up in the series.
Shaky start for BDS, but when it got to 7 to 8 minutes, they were like, right, we know how to play this one out, lads. Stack the dragons, make sure we're able to play out through our lanes, slow and steady, get the vision, and then pull that trigger on the Baron when they had that chance. Really nice job from